Hi, this is Hart, and I am bringing you yet another card. I have quite a lot of cards in my head that I'm creating in a row, but don't worry, I'm breaking them down into separate videos. I came across this lovely sunflower with a bee on it, and also within 15 minutes of each other came across the phrase better together, and it took me straight to this bee and flower image. And I knew I had to make a Happy Mail card out of it, because what a cute little friendship card it would be. So I decided to cut the better together phrase in half so I could separate the words, and intentionally made them little banners. That way the sharp points on the banners match the sharp points on the sunflower. It might make you actually chuckle a little bit that this is sped up double time, because I'm watching my own movements and it looks like it's in real time. So I ponder what I'm going to put in the middle there and pull something just from the table of supplies that I've been working on for the past several days. That's a die cut from Tim Holtz, and it's just one of the pieces out of the die cut that I put in the center of the flower. I don't know what it's called, but I again like the sharp points on that to match with the points within the flower. I decided to only glue down the center of the sunflower because I do plan to come back at the end and use my little pen glue stick to go around the edges that weren't glued down exactly. But I'm excessively slow at making cards. Partly because each one of them feels like a mixed media project, and partly because I design each and every one of them on the fly as I go. I suppose with these big images it should be a little bit faster, but no, it still took me about a half an hour to make this card. As I'm clipping the sunflower pieces off and I see those beautiful little points of the sunflower, I decide, I'm going to use these. So you'll see me use these again here in a little bit. But first I'm grabbing my Sharpie. It's just a simple black Sharpie marker, and I am outlining the outside of the sunflower to make it pop. I didn't focus on shading it in a particular manner. I'm actually outlining it all the way around. So hum yourself a little tune. Right now in my head is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So sing that one. I have no idea why a sunflower brings that to me, but I am simply just using the Sharpie marker, and I am going to make you suffer and watch me go around the entire flower. Okay, I suppose you could speed it up if you wanted to, or even fast forward this if you wanted to, because this isn't the most exciting aspect of the card. But it is kind of funny what I choose to leave in and what I choose to take out. And you know what? I'm done editing this video. I've cut out enough pieces. So now I look at the inside of the card, and I have this sharp point, and I am deciding which way to lay it out. I didn't make you suffer through that like I did the Sharpie marker, but I did decide to take it from smaller to bigger, similar to how some flowers appear, because it gives you that rounded feeling on the card. So I took the smaller points and put them on the edges, and mix up the bigger ones. Ooh, and now you have the exciting show of the glue stick. And what was I thinking going around sideways? I think I was just trying to straighten the glue stick, but it is what it is. You know, we crafting folks have our own unique little things that we do. I suppose we shouldn't just call ourselves crafting folks. We should call ourselves artists, because that's what we truly are. If you sit here and you create something, even if you've created something that you have guidelines to or a kit to, you are creating art. So again, we should call ourselves artists. And the nonprofit foundation that we've started, because my last name is Hart, we're calling them Hartists. And I have to keep reminding myself that we're going, no matter where they are in their journey of art, they're all artists, or they're all Hartists. So that's what will be. What I'm doing now is I just grabbed a simple black pen, and instead of shading, or instead of marking it all the way around, I'm just going underneath the leaves as if the sun is coming from the top left of this sunflower. I think it needed a little bit more attention on the inside of the card that way, and it pops out just as good. Pops out just as well, just as good. Forget the grammar, I'm not back in school. All I'm going to do here is go in with my pen and highlight the inside of these leaves, giving them each a little stem just to give visual interest. I did ponder whether I was going to ink it with a stamp, not necessarily a stamp, ink it with Distress ink pad, but I decided I wanted to leave it clean. I do tend to be a grunge artist, so I stretch myself and do pieces where I force myself to stay rather clean with some of the art. So now that it's down, I use my glue stick, but this is actually one of those pieces that's a little delicate. There's some very thin pieces, so I'm very afraid of ripping it. So I tend to dab and twist my glue stick, which didn't help much, but it didn't rip it, so it still tweaks it a bit. On the top two leaves, I was nervous that it wasn't going to stick down the best, and those are the two I definitely wanted down. And I just arrange it to where it fits around the center of the sunflower, the way that my eye sees it as visually appealing. And I go under each leaf as if the sun is coming from above this time. And you'll see that I go, because I'm going underneath each leaf, I don't catch the top side of any one. And that's a good way to think about shading some things simply. You don't have to think about it. And sometimes I shade based on the angle of the item I'm shading, what will be an easy shading process. And that's exactly what I did here. Don't you love a messy desk? I'm looking at my scraps and little cut-offs and the stuff all over. I even have the little pink lady still. So I know that I want the word better to be towards the center of the flower. And I'm ready to stick that down. So I get a double-sided stick tape. And yes, I do have a lot of different kinds of adhesives, but you'll almost always see double-sided stick tape or score tape sitting on my desk and a glue stick. And then the third or fourth kind of adhesive on my desk varies greatly. Just making sure that it's lined up straight to the top of the card as I'm looking at it, then I'm happy. What's nice about working with magazine pages is your adhesives, if you do make a little bit of an error, you can peel it up a bit, but only shortly after you set it down. Don't let it sit for even a couple of seconds. You have a risk of ripping that magazine page. This is one of the thicker kind of magazine pages with quite a shine on it. So I have some bling I'm about to add, and I'm going to go ahead and use a full circle off this bling. I used it in a different card, and because it's on my desk, I'll probably keep using this one until most of it's gone. I'm trying to get a balanced half circle, and that's why you see me fussing with it. It is already, it already comes with an adhesive back, which is nice because then you don't mess up your circle too much, even though you're fussing with it in your fingers. And then what's also nice about these circle shapes is you can stretch them a bit because that adhesive has a little bit of an adhesive string that also is attaching each one of them together. It was way too much information for something simple, but basically this card is almost done. I do appreciate you watching. I appreciate those of you who subscribe. And all I'm going to do at the end here is go around with my little pen of glue, and seal the bottom edges. I'm in a card phase, so many of my art types that you'll be seeing here over the next several videos are cards. I might switch back to something different here soon. I do miss junk journaling, so I'll probably go to that pretty quickly. But I'll show you the finished product here after I clip this last little one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.